Ladies and gentlemen, I am the War Boss Squee, and once again, after a very long time, we are playing Pillars of Eternity. I had a bug that I couldn't get through, and it was driving me nuts, and that would be the fact that I could not find the area that I needed to complete Eddar's personal quest. Now, the thing that I need is right here in this little blue spot. And I had actually gone online, and I couldn't find it because this little area was not showing up. Apparently, it was a bug. I had to unload the game and reload the game, and then I got distracted by other things. So, we have here the Reinstalling standard piece. The tip of some metal object protrudes from a mound of watery river silt. With both hands, you and Eddar begin digging in the mud until the object is dislodged. You close your hand around it and pull it from the wet earth. The object is a steel semicircular frame about the size of your fist. At even points around the semicircle, jagged points jut out like the tongues of flame, the rays of a rising sun. The sun's center is a carved silhouette of a vorlus plant. I have no idea what that is.
I've seen these before. They've topped the standards of Reinstalling. Or did when Weidman was alive. It's something. Just not sure what it gets me.
Well, we should take it to an expert. He shrugs. It's a thought. A lot of people would have touched this. Standard bearers a position of honor in most places, but the Redisarans actually took to fighting for it. From what I heard, serious bunch. It's not a lot to hang hopes on, but hey, we were lucky to find anything at all. So it's back to Defiance Bay, I guess, unless we spot my brother's bones lying around on our way out. And we got a little bit of experience for that. Now, I cannot tell you how much of a letdown that is after all this time, because this is the first time I've done it. So that quest is good. We just need to go back and probably take it to, well, somebody. Dunrid Row would be the place to take it. Now, I don't think we have anything else. We have the Hermit of Hadrit House. And that is also back in Defiance Bay. So, we're going to go talk to the Knights of the Crucible. So, this was a twofer. And we will pick it back up after I make the journey, because I don't want to make you guys sit through a load screen. Alright, so here we are at the top floor of Madame Webb's house on Dunrid Row. Where's the house Dunrid Row? I don't quite remember.
The hearings could end any day now. You mustn't waste any time in securing a way in.
I have other questions.
Yes?
Show the Steel Sun. I want to trace a man who might have touched this item.
This will do, but I will need your aid. The imprint of this man's essence will be clearer to your sight than it is to mine. You will have an easier time identifying him. I will show you all that I see.
And she's actually a really sweet lady for a terrifying spy master.
Follow.
You close your eyes and concentrate. The sun is bright in your mind's eye, warm with the pulse of collective experience and noisy with the thoughts of the past, of battle, of faith, of home. You drift from voice to voice, thought to thought. Eddar's soul, a vibrant signature with which to locate his brother. One voice stands out amidst the din, brassy and earnest, a shade brighter than Eddar's, but unmistakably of the same construction. You have no image of its owner, but his journey is imprinted within the points and curves of the steel sun, and in your mind it opens before you as a path stretching both southward to Gilded Vale and northward over the uneven terrain that joins the Deerwood to Redisarus. I never get that right. You trace the path back to its origin, far back as you can find, gilding over plains and hillsides to a one-room home in Gilded Vale with a thatched roof and a dirt floor. The path here is faint, its distance and time rendering images blurry and details scarce. From Gilded Vale, it follows a road toward Madhim fucking Welsh bridge, reaching the gates of Defiance Bay before diverting abruptly, cutting northward in a beeline for Redisarus. The path leads to a Redisarian city, regal and austere in the Eddarian imperial style. It winds through streets and climbs a grand set of stairs into a stately building, passing through pointed archways and what appears to be a throne room. Upon the throne sits a man whose head is pure, blinding light. And as its gaze turns to you, the light drowns out all else. Its voice carries the force of thunder, but its words are impossible to make out in the imprint, echoing echoes of echoes. The voice and light fade, and the path blends backward, carrying you along to a barracks, then back southward, marching into Deerwood and skirmishing along the way. Upon one battle, the imprint is vivid, and you see a Redsiran standard toppled with a steel sun, clutched in the hand of a fallen soldier. You see a young man in Redsiran armor with Adair's straw-colored hair race toward his standard and lift it, the path you've been following clear to see beneath his feet, and as his hand brushes the steel tip, you can hear his thoughts racing in a blur, and they are of his god and his country and a brother he hopes is far away from this place. In an instant, the thoughts are gone as well as the man, and the standard is passed to another soldier. You pick the path up again as it meanders south and disintegrates into the shadow of Celebirag. You open your eyes.
Anything? Looked like you were working real hard there.
Your brother got as far as Defiance Bay before turning to Redsiran instead. He met Wadwin there, then he enlisted.
Well, what did he talk about with Widewin?
I don't know.
That's not funny. Come on. That metal sun, my brother touched it. You saw where he went. And what did he talk about with Widewin? Why'd my brother fight for Reinstalling?
I really don't know.
Guess that's it.
We'll find some other way to know why he did what he did.
I don't think we will.
A new look is...
Look for more war relics. We were lucky to find this one. Soldiers that fought with him were long dead. The battle was a massacre. Whatever Aethys knows, he's not talking to anyone.
He looks at Lady Webb. That's all I needed to know. Sorry for wasting your time. Lady Webb says nothing. She gives him a slight nod, her lips pursed, but not in anger. Not enough to level up. I think that quest is done now. Yeah, it is. That was a long one, too. But, unfortunately, we didn't get the answers we wanted. We know that he enlisted, but we still don't know why. And we have a quest. 15% experience, a cloak of comfort, and anywhere between 150 to 300 copper and treasure, 2 minor items. The colorful clothing of the Spiritan weaver, Banette Seta, is known throughout the Eastern Reach. Over a year ago, she was on a trip to Defiance Bay when her ship sank in a violent storm just off the Pearl Coast. Miraculously, many of her passengers survived. Banette Seta's body was never found, and she was presumed to have died. However, a Valian merchant in Defiance Bay recently recognized some of Banette Seta's unmistakable work in an otherwise unremarkable shipment of textiles. He spoke with others and learned that several shipments to different merchants bore the same telltale patterns. Now, many merchants believe that Banette Seta is being held captive somewhere and is trying to communicate through her work. Whatever the message is, none have been able to decipher it, nor where it's coming from. And we're going to assign her. Now, we're going to have to complete 2 quests before that is done, if people remember correctly. And I think it's time to go visit the Knights of the Crucible. Alright, the only downside to kind of like pausing through and cutting out the loading screen and stuff like that is you tend to miss some of the fun little conversations. This particular instance, Adair looked to Aloth and said, "Hey, when this is all over, I have to buy you a pint." And of course, Aloth is, "Well, thank you, I would be delighted." And Adair's like, "Oh, you want one too? I was talking to Isilmir, but sure, I'll get you one." Because Adair's kind of fascinated with the young lady. Alright. Okay, I think I actually need to talk to the captain of this, the watch captain. And is it still stealing? Come on, I saved your guys' lives. Just give me stuff. I deserve it, because I'm awesome. Now, here we go. Commander Cliver. What may I do for you? I understand that the Crucible Knights are attending the Animancy hearings at the palace.
Indeed. Duke Avar looks to the knights for prudent counsel as well as defense. I suspect our future as a city and a nation depend in no small part on how we handle this matter.
What do you think about Animancy? Now keep in mind, they just had a horrible experience with it. Despite what happened with the Forge Knights, Animancy merits further study in other contexts. There's much yet that Animancers could do to cure soul maladies, strengthen essence, and perhaps even eliminate the effects of the legacy. We won't know until we try, and we can't afford to sit on our hands while our rivals watch us grow weak. Well, tell me about the hearings. They're progressing slower than I'd like. The dozens are raising a ruckus when everyone so much as mentions Animancy, and the Dominals are obfuscating matters of purpose. Nevertheless, I'm confident Avar will see reason eventually. Well, I need an audience with Duke Avar. I'd like to attend the hearings. And we will be glad to have you with us. Avar will no doubt find your presence persuasive. And we need all possible support to see that he gives Animancy a fair chance. Indeed. Alright, goodbye. And now I have to go back. God, there's a lot of backtracking here sometimes. So let's go talk to Lady Webb again. Well, I was going to pick this up back talking to Lady Webb again, but apparently we have some company here. And they are assassins. You know what? Oh, there's quite a few of them, actually. Maybe I should actually plan this out. Alright. Aloth is in the back there. Let's see about... Are you casting anything right now? It doesn't look like it. We'll just do this, because this hurts people and it doesn't hurt my people. Actually, I'll have you switch weapons. Get stuck in there. Honestly, I don't think these guys are going to cause me that much trouble. Let's have you hit that guy, please. What am I missing here? Ah, there you are. Let's see what we want here. We want Holy Radiance. Yeah, these assassins are nothing to worry about. Just gang up and crush them, please. Meanwhile, frag that one. Yeah, I'm kind of unimpressed. These are not very interesting assassins. And he got mind controlled just long enough to, well, die horribly. Alright, that wasn't too bad. Let's see what loot we got from him. So we've got an arbalist, a couple of maces, spear, sword, shield, plate armor, breastplate, some chainmail, bunch of hoods, because of course you're not an assassin without a hood. Some Wodica hoods. Hello. Okay. Along with a lovely assortment of money. And you had dagger, stiletto, leather armor, more money, and a scrawled note. Written on a scrap of parchment is a concise but detailed description of you, including your name, your distinguishing features, and everyone you've known to have associated with in your brief time in Deerwood. Ah. Well, somebody's probably cranky that I upset their plans. How absolutely tragic.
Sure.
And we just leave a bunch of corpses behind, but yeah, who cares? Of course, now I'm wondering if there's going to be any problems inside Madame Webb's house. Well, thankfully, it looks like whatever was going on just involved us, and everyone here in Hadrit House is completely untouched. Which is good. These guys seem like pretty cool types.
How fares your search?
If I'm going to do this for you, I think it's time you've told me everything about Theos.
I've told you everything you need to know.
But not everything.
It's only right that you know everything. When I was younger, before Dunreed Road, I had many suitors. These were fine-looking men of good stock, but I could see their thoughts, and they were unimpressive. Boys' thoughts. I toyed with their affections. I resented all of them.
That's got to be horrible.
And then I met a man whose mind was a mystery to me. But he understood me. He knew me at a glance. Told me things I didn't know about myself. He was neither handsome nor charming. He was all I ever wanted.
You're speaking about Theos.
We made a game of my gift. He would ask me about people, and I would tell him what they were thinking. Sometimes the information was very sensitive. And then one day he asked me if I trusted him. I said I did. Next I knew I was donning a silver mask and swearing oaths to Woodica. Using my gift for the leaden key still felt like a game to me, so I did it. I did it because it pleased him.
That's starting to sound a little bit more Heaven's Gate than I think the designers intended, or maybe that is what they intended. But it didn't last.
I don't like living in the dark. It's a powerless, hopeless feeling. Every day I did things without knowing their purpose. Every day I loved a man without knowing his thoughts of me. I sensed that there were things he wanted to tell me. I sensed that he knew everything the leaden key was created to hide. But Theos was unyielding. One day I disappeared without a word. He would kill me for it, and I knew that. It's their rule. I just wanted to see him plunge the knife, because then I would know. But the day never came. He has left me to wonder.
I wonder if he actually did love her.
I have devoted my years to learning everything I could about him, in hopes I would find some clue as to who he really was, and why he felt he had to keep his secrets locked away. I have precious little to show for it. Just an old woman nagged by old thoughts.
Imagine being that obsessed.
And that is truly everything I can tell you about Theos. I hope you will accept this embarrassing story as a show of my good faith.
It is actually very embarrassing. I want to discuss the animancy hearings at the palace.
What of them?
The Knights of the Crucible have accepted me into their delegation.
Good. Avar Wolfgren looks to the Crucible Knights as a voice of reason and order. Speaking from their section should lend you credibility with him. You need waste no more time here. Get to the palace. Make your case to the Duke. With him on our side, all of Deerwood can be mobilized against the leaden key, and Theos can be rooted out. I only wish I could be there to see it. There is a very old bottle of a very good brandy that I have been saving for a special day. If you hurry back afterward, there may be a little left for you. Off with you. You're going to do very well in there.
And farewell. So that was a lot of running around for that. Let's see if I progress any in my quest. 2 turns remain. I think I actually have to complete the quest in its entirety. I cannot remember. Lord, it's been a while. So let's head over to the palace. Now, unless I've missed my mark, this is going to be our first visit into the Ducal Palace. Or, no, actually I think we went in there once with a dare. But hopefully we won't have any assassins between us and them. But quite frankly, you never know. I wasn't exactly expecting assassins the last time either. But with what's going on, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a bit of a crowd here. No, nobody. Alright, well, in we go. And who do we have to talk to? Yeah, you don't tell me anything. Looks like we're running around with our weapons out. It's the records keeper. I don't actually know what... Oh, here we go. The balcony has been opened for you. Alright, cool. Hey, there we go. The room below is animated amidst a heated debate. All the representative groups are easily discerned in the crowd. Crucible Knights stiff in their noisy armor sit in one section. In another are well-dressed members of House Dominel, casually watching with a predator's interest. Still elsewhere are the ramshackle dozens, who have made no special effort to dress up for their liege lord. Interspersed are animancers with their academics' robes with expressions either sour or concerned.
Well then, answer me this, Master Barash. If you animancers represent our best hope to cure the legacy, what progress can you demonstrate?
That voice sounds familiar.
As I've said, it isn't about progress, it's about potential.
My house would agree, Your Grace. We see great potential in its future.
And I suppose your blazing profits during the legacy don't have nothing to do with that, do they, Dominel? You can't have it both ways no more! Animancy goes, or this country goes!
So you admit, Master Barask, that animancy is no closer to stopping the legacy than it ever was?
No, we've had many promising experiments. Cadman Azo has shown...
Cadman Azo murdered a child. For a complete failure. We should be hanging him right now for what he done. The dozens won't stand for it.
He's not exactly wrong, unfortunately, but wrong for the wrong reasons.
The experiment failed, yes, but his work...
His work was sabotaged.
Ah, our new delegate from the Knights of the Crucible. What makes you say sabotage?
I met a false patient in Brackenbury Sanitarium who had tampered with Azo's machinery.
The fuck's that even matter? These are people who would toy with the lives of our children.
Indeed. Even assuming there was sabotage, is this Animancer Azo not still accountable here?
Well, I have a couple options, and they're both the same. Those who know me around here to be fair in judgment, Cadman Azo should be held innocent. And the second option is the same, except that he should be held guilty. I'm going to go with the first one, actually. He was trying to save that child's soul and actually turn it back into a person.
Horseshit. These animancers can't be trusted. Look at what happened in Heritage Hill. Our supposed protectors from Crucible Keep can't even clean up the messes Animancy leaves.
Your Grace, we'd have a much easier time of it if our knights weren't so occupied trying to keep their organization from igniting a revolution on our very doorstep.
You know, it's funny, the dozens kind of remind me of Antifa. Hey, why aren't you stopping these people from doing bad things? Because we're trying to stop you from looting, burning, pillaging, and, well, mass murder.
Heritage Hill is blood on your hands, Justiciar. You turn a blind eye, and look what happens.
I've been to Heritage Hill since the quarantine. Though the Knights were unable to control the damage, it was not animancy, but an ancient machine that caused it. Or the Crucible Knights are blameless here. This was not the working of animancy, but an ancient device in Tyr knoweth. And that's actually the correct one.
You've some strange taste in travels, friend. The height of your tales expands with every breath.
Honesty, too. My word is my oath. I challenge anyone here to find someone who knows different.
I had heard whispers of a new delegate set to attend today's hearing. I admit that your candor was mentioned more than once. Tell us what you saw in Heritage Hill.
Tyr Neth houses an Egwethan machine that holds dominion over the flow of souls. It was this machine that made the district undead. Do you think that was the machine's purpose, or just a dire side effect? But then why would the Egwethans build such a machine at all?
Even if it is as you say, we have testimony that a group of animancers had been spending time there. Surely their tinkering had something to do with this.
Perception 15. They followed ambition blindly, taking few precautions and allowing personal feelings to get in the way of solving the problem.
But the very purpose of these experiments is to understand. So these dangerous things can be used responsibly.
You can't responsibly use an atomic bomb if you don't know how it works.
This is what it comes down to, Your Grace. Whatever their intentions, Animancy's a pox. It makes a fucking wreck of everything. We all know what Widewind's legacy's really about. And it ain't about some sparkling saint from Creed Ceres who's mad because he took a stroll down the wrong bridge.
Ha! Wrong bridge indeed.
It's about a bunch of so-called intellectuals fucking with the natural order while the rest of us gotta suffer for it.
I don't like him.
Is it, though? Should we not take the time to reach a clear conclusion? I mean, what proof do we have?
My son and daughter are buried beneath the floor of my house. We don't own no land, so that's where we lay them. My son, my wife let him slip when she was bathing him. Got water in his lungs he couldn't cough up. My daughter, we put her to bed one night, and the next morning she wasn't breathing. This Hollowborn thing, it ain't ending. And it ain't ending because we still let these charlatans play God. There's your proof, you damn copper fucker.
I can understand his grief and his rage. I have children myself, but this isn't the Animancers that caused this. That's because you blew up a god.
Enough, Adric. Lady Dominel makes a point. If it's animancy, then why do the other states that permit the practice not suffer the same fate? Who among us can say he truly understands why the legacy has taken hold here?
I can. Ooh. The crowd begins to mutter, the sound taking a doubtful character. Right idea, Watcher. Taking this hearing by the curly ones. Don't waste your chance. Wadwin's legacy is the creation of the Leaden Key. Caedmon Azo's downfall was their work, as was the tower in Heritage Hill. They want you to do this. They want Animancy to fall. The dull mutterings expand into a din of skepticism that fills the hall. I have seen the ruins of Ir Gladenfen, operating machines that disrupt and redirect the flow of souls, near towns like Gilded Vale and Deerwood, where the legacy is universal. As a watcher, I have heard their dead confess their plot. They are stealing the souls of the unborn.
Beasts. Another lunatic at the hearing. Did you remember to lock your sanitarium before you left, Master Barask?
Please, I only want to help Deerwood. You shame your order by dismissing the truth before hearing it, madam. I expected better from a knight of the Crucible.
You must know, friend, that the Leaden Key is a mantle for small-time ruffians and children at play. I'm not saying you're a liar. Not yet. But you'd better start making sense of all this. Help us believe you.
We have a couple of options here. What's more likely, that the gods are destroying Deerwood for a science practice in many parts of the world, or that a group of people hates animancy and wants it suppressed? The Leaden Key is very real. There are foreigners from Edir and Rediciris who hate Deerwood and want to see us suffer. Let's say a lord is cuckolded by his wife. If he tells her to stop, she'll only want to see her lover more. But if he spreads a rumor that his lover has just visited a brothel and acquired a pox on his loins, she'll end it on her own. We all want the same thing here. We want Wadwin's legacy to end. And if we work together instead of arguing, we can stop the people who are doing this. Or Honesty 3. If you know anything about me, you know this. I've been called many things, but never a liar. An honest witness is the best piece of evidence you have in this matter. I'm taking that one.
The only piece of evidence.
The only piece of evidence that doesn't send your kind to the gallows, you mean?
You've made an unexpected case, friend. I'll say that much. It seems we have a new possibility to consider, at the very least. How was it you came to learn all this?
The Knights of the Crucible were instrumental in aiding my investigation? Not really. Took a personal interest in the matter and tried to learn what I could.
Indeed. This land is foreign to you, unless I miss my guess. Your efforts on its behalf are to be commended. But these hearings are about more than Widewind's legacy, even though that is our most pressing concern. Let's say for the moment that I were to take you at your word that our friends in Brackenbury Sanitarium and their peers bear no responsibility for this curse upon my country. I'm curious, what would you do if you were in my position?
All right, let's look at our options again. I would allow Animancy to continue the work. They explore questions we all wish to understand. If we'd known more, perhaps this crisis could have been averted. Animancy should be studied in Deerwood. If you don't, someone else will, and they will wield great power over you. The Animancers of Deerwood have been given too long a leash. The practice should be restricted and controlled. In truth, I'm not completely confident Animancy doesn't have something to do with the Wadwin's legacy. It would be wise to ban the practices for now. And Animancy is too dangerous. We are not meant to use it. We have proven why we are unworthy of it. It should be outlawed. Honestly, the first answer is I think it's the one I believe in. Animancers serve their own ambitions and their own purses. Giving them this power is like setting a child loose in an armory.
Very well. That is all I wish to hear. Not just from you, but from everyone. Many days we've been at this. It is time we put it to rest.
Alrighty.
I want to thank the delegations for helping me to collect my thoughts. In particular, I want to thank our new delegate, who has given me much to think about, and who alerted me to a new enemy I had failed to see. The time has come to choose a direction for the Deerwood. I am ready to make my pronouncement.
Oh, I hope this doesn't go badly.
Ramir de Barash, representing the interests of Animancers in Deerwood, step forward.
Your Grace.
Oh, it just went badly, didn't it?
The arguments for and against Animancy are both strong in their own way. I must be careful in my judgment.
Forgive me, Your Grace. We will accept no judgment but our own.
What's he doing? No! Avenge the Duke!
Ah, shit.
No, wait!
Stop this at once!
And our bad guy just walks out. Son of a bitch.
I've given you every chance to end this pursuit. Shall I end it for you?
Oh, I'm gonna kill you to
Another
death.
time. I am already late.
And I pass out. God bless it. The words, shall I end it for you, ring in your ears. You find yourself gasping for breath, struggling to keep your own balance. You drop to a knee and watch as Theos hurries out to the building. The world dims around you, the screams and clashing of weapons fade into silence. All that remains are the words.
Shall I end it for you?
Theos stands at a pulpit high above an assembly of robed onlookers. You among them, clustered in a wide circular pit carved of stone. He addresses a woman bound backwards over a large iron wheel overlooking the great stone maw. Many of the woman's fingers and toes are severed, and the bottoms of her feet are charred black. Jesus. The skin on one side of her face looks like a melted candle wax, black and red and seeping. And the angle of her back suggests a spine in ruins. Yet for all of that, her expression betrays little of her anguish.
I am already at peace, Grand Inquisitor. Are you?
That's not a good look.
So be it. If you desire no end, you shall have none. I find you guilty of heresy. May the eternal prison bar your soul from passage, for it is beyond redemption.
He nods to a hooded attendant who begins untying her from the wheel. Urza Condoin was granted Dominion of the Sleepers. I don't even know what that does. You open your eyes to the beam ceiling of the palace's grand entry hall. The clangs of metal striking metal waft in from outside along the cries of the injured as you stagger to your feet. Theos is gone. Aloth hovers over you, worry etched in his face. Urza Condoin, we've got to get out of here. Fast. His eyes dart to the hall. Off to one side, you hear the clinking rustle of chainmail. You look over to see a wounded guard slumped against the wall. He's trying to say something seemingly directed at you, but at first is too faint to hear. He gathers his breath and manages to wrestle out a few words. Lady Webb, she's the only. She must be told. She'll know what to do. Please, find her. Tell her everything. The guard passes out and slides to the floor, still. God damn it. Can I talk to you? Oh, don't go. There's rioting in the streets. Oh, that'll be interesting. Damn that Theos. He is not playing clean here. We got commoners and justicars. Stand down. We don't want to fight you. Oh. Oh, they attacked. They didn't attack us, and those justicars just turned him into mincemeat. Good lord. Look at the whole damn city's on fire. I wonder how the Knights of the Crucible are doing. Honestly, yeah, I know there's a lot of these guys, but plate armor counts for a lot. These lot are in league with the Animancers. I can't actually get involved in this fight, so I'm just going to let them go. And the Justicars are going to win anyway. Alright. What's going on over here? Well, I guess we're not going to be visiting them right now. Task failed, clandestine cargo. What was that? I don't see a task here for that, so... Don't know. No idea at all. Or was that a... That wasn't this thing, was it? No. Couldn't tell you. Animancer's boots. Alright, we're gonna grab those. Hate to loot you. Oh, this whole plate. Oh, holy shit. Well. That's done for. Good lord. The fountain is running red with blood. Are you fucking kidding me? This is a... But her house is fine. Okay. I guess that's a thing. Then again, maybe this isn't such a thing. Sorry guys, I need your money. Nothing personal. Is it still stealing if anybody sees me do it? No, it's not. Good lord. I'm betting Theos had his people come through here. Man. You literally went through all this trouble to kill one little old lady. Yeah, we'll deal with those guys in a second. That's a little ghoulish, but whatever. And... oh, hot damn, she is dead. I wasn't actually expecting that. Lady Webb lies still in her bed, an ornate cushion propping her back upright. The blood pooled beneath a gash in her chest is tacky and nearly dry. A shattered glass rests on the floor beneath her dangling hand. You feel the faint aura of her fading essence in your ken. Reach out for it. You make contact and are immersed in a torrent of sensory input and experience. When it calms, you find yourself in the same room, lying in bed with a glass of brandy in your hand. Through the walls from the streets outside come the sounds of screams and shattering glass and the cacophony of an angry mob. Take a sip and it warms your gullet. Across the room, the door opens behind a patient, steady push. Into the room walks Theos, the floorboards creaking beneath deliberate steps. You wait until the last of the brandy has trickled down your throat before you speak.
I was a fool to think I could tame these people.
You came closer than most.
A fine epitaph.
No worse than any.
You're concentrating, focusing with all of your energy. It feels as though you're diving into a stone wall over and over, but it cracks suddenly, unexpectedly, allowing the vaguest wisp of a thought to leak through. This is Lady Webb trying to get into Theos' head.
What's in Twin Elms?
Did you pull that from my thoughts?
I've had time to practice.
Ah.
He walks over to a small table and raises a half-empty brandy bottle to eye level. Seems to approve of the selection and begins searching for an empty glass.
I was saving that for someone.
Pity. You know this is how it has to be.
He draws a long, curved knife from his belt, smeared with fresh blood. With his left hand, he gently pins your sternum as he raises the knife in the other, its point dangling above your heart.
Prove it.
Theos slips the knife between your ribs and pushes it through. Layers of tissue separate with brittle, papery stiffness, and blood wells up around the blade. Pulsive reflex causes you to drop your glass to the floor and you hear it shatter. The last of your strength, you take his knife hand in both of yours, a question radiant in your mind. For an instant, to your great surprise, the pathway to his mind is left open to you, unguarded, and the answer comes. Simple, cataclysmic in its reordering of your thoughts. As Lady Webb, you feel as though you had an answer you've searched all your life, but in your own mind, her understanding lies just beyond your reach. You look at Theos with the wide eyes of someone seeing for the first time and draw your last breath as a black, velvety darkness descends over you.
Smoke rises above the city walls in billowing plumes that blacken the sky like a storm. Behind the walls, the riots rage on. Known patrons of Animancy are forced into hiding as looters ransack their estates and make off with their possessions. Animancers are torn away from their families and dragged from their homes to be stoned to death in the streets. Word had spread immediately that Duke Avar had been assassinated and that an Animancer was to blame. The city wasted little time in exacting revenge, and little effort into evaluating guilt. In the center of it all, Brackenbury Sanitarium burned. And down the lane, Hodred House, the last bastion of stability in the Deerwood, had fallen silent. Now safely outside the city gate, your path points eastward to Twin Elms, where Theos is bound, for reasons that remain mysterious as the leaden key itself.
That is not how I expected that to go. Not gonna lie. Quest completed. The Hermit of Hadret House. A new quest, Assassin at Large. Travel to Twin Elms. Can I even get back in the city? No, I can't. Interesting. It's an honor. Huh. Yeah, it looks like Defiance Bay is completely cut off. Now the path through Stormwall Gorge is open. Okay, so that was that other area that I was looking for before. As you cross the bridge, Aloth draws up beside you. The fires of Defiance Bay cast a shivering, flickering light across one half of his face. The other is in darkness.
Please stop. I need to tell you something.
Go ahead.
I have not been entirely honest about my motives for traveling with you up to this point. When I finished my training in Adir, I was introduced to an organization. All I knew was that they were opposed to the unchecked spread of Animancy, and that they could guarantee me postings far away from the Seathwood my father and his Earl. At that time, it was enough. In the early years, I thought of them as many things. Hooded men, prudent teachers, the leaden key. Their rules were strict, but their guidance was clear. I sincerely believe they wanted to keep Kith from the folly of their own foolish ambitions. I came to the Deerwood a little over a year ago. My orders were to gather information on Animancy in the region. A senior contact met with me every few months to receive my reports and issue new leads. She sent me to Gilded Vale to keep an eye on events surrounding the local lord, but I lost track of her shortly after that. I don't know if she was reassigned, killed, or sacrificed the way you saw. At the time you met me, I'd been on my own for a couple of months.
What did you want from me?
I needed some kind of direction. After that scrape with the locals, I was ready to get out of town. But then you mentioned that you'd survived that Beelwick, and I thought you might be able to put me back on the Leaden Keys trail. And I was correct in a way. What we found wasn't what I expected. I knew the Leaden Key was trying to stop Animancy, but I didn't realize how far they'd gone. Murder, sabotage, abandoning entire districts to shambling horrors. Now the whole city is up in flames.
AKA, yes, Hydra are full of bad guys.
I'm still not sure about Animancy, but I know I've been following the wrong master. Please, accept my apology, and my service. Let me fight with you to stop Theos.
Now we have a couple of options here. Now these two options here, get out of my sight if I ever see you again, I'll kill you, and I'm finished with you. You've been working for the very people who are trying to kill me, and now you think I'll keep you around. You're even crazier than I thought. He's permanently gone at that point. But I like this. I forgive you, Aloth, but I want you to work beside. I want you beside me, not behind me. I'm asking for you to trade one master for another.
That would be an honor.
Before we move on, I'd like to discuss a few things. Alright, any thoughts on what we should do next? Seems as Theos and the Leaden Key are to blame. We've got to learn more about what they're up to. Alright, so that's not connected to that at all. Huh. Interesting. So, geez, the whole city got burned to the ground. That's horrible. Who's this? Oh, it's just a common. He looked funny, so. Indian for the night. Goose and Fox are the softest beds and the best ale. Well, perhaps not anymore. Huh. Well, alrighty then. I think Stormwall Gorge is where we want to head to next. We still have a few other things that we should probably be dealing with, but I think that would be the best choice for now. Defiance Bay is completely blocked off. Good lord. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we are in Stonewall Gorge, and this is where we're going to end it for now. It's been a while. I'm feeling a little bit tired. And honestly, that's been a lot to process. Holy crap, that was a hell of an ending of an act. If you're happy to see me back playing Pillars of Eternity, please leave a like down below. Leave a comment if I'm doing something wrong, as always, because I haven't really read up on this game. The thing with Adair is the only thing I've done before. I just know that Adair has a conversational trigger real
Say
quick.
what you want about Dear Woodens. They haven't met the problem yet they couldn't solve by killing some scapegoats.
You fight for people because you see something there that deserves defending. Even more so because someone you see trusts it too. Then you turn around and they do something like this, and the person who made you want to help them is gone. People never fail to disappoint without guidance. Not the ones around here. They're downright regular about it. 15 years ago, they tried to kill all the Athosians. Then the legacy happened, and they worried that maybe those purges had something to do with it. So how do they fix it? More purges. Never thought I'd find myself missing the hospitality back home. That guy's had such a crap life. Now that we've done that, now we're going to call it a part. And I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, leave a comment, leave a like or dislike, whichever suits your purposes, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.